Hi guys, welcome to another class of company law. This is our second class in company law. Today in this class, we shall learn about the consequences of the independent corporate personality of a company and lifting or piercing of the corporate veil. First of all, consequences or drawbacks of the independent corporate personality or separate legal entity of a company. Number one, the member of a company has no insurable interest in the property of the company. Number two, even when the member dies, the company continues in existence. So, even when a member of a company dies, the company continues in existence. That is the perpetual succession. Only his shares vest in personal representatives. The shares of that deceased person, it vest on his personal representatives. But his personal representatives have no rights on the company's properties. Number three, the nationality of the company does not depend on the nationality of the member. The nationality of the company depends upon the place of incorporation of the company. A company has no citizenship, that is, a company cannot have the privilege of a citizen. It has no right to vote, no fundamental rights, etc. But it can have nationality, domicile and residence. Now, lifting or piercing the corporate veil. As a general rule, a company is a legal entity, but if it affects public convenience, justify wrong, protects fraud or defend crime, the company is regarded only as an association of persons. So, under these circumstances, the corporate veil will be lifted. What are the circumstances? If the company's activities affects public convenience, if a company justify wrongs and or protects fraud or defends crime, the company is regarded as an association of persons. Now let's see what are the situations in which the corporate veil will be lifted. There are 7 situations. Protection of revenue, prevention of fraud or misconduct, company is a sham or a dummy company, company acting as an agent or trustee of the shareholders, determination of the character of a company, parent subsidiary company relationship and public interest. First of all, protection of revenue. If a company is used for tax evasion or to circumvent tax obligation, court pierces the corporate veil. If the residence of the company is to be determined for tax purposes, then also the court will lift the corporate veil and find out where its central management is. That is, എപ്പോഴാണോ ഒരു കമ്പനിയെ ടാക്സ് ഇവാഷന് വേണ്ടിയിട്ട് ടാക്സ് അവോയ്ഡ് ചെയ്യുന്ന വേണ്ടിയിട്ട് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ സർക്കംവെന്റ് ടാക്സ് ഒബ്ലിഗേഷൻ ടാക്സ് ലയബിലിറ്റി മറികടന്ന് പോകുവാൻ വേണ്ടിയിട്ട് യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്, then the court pierces the corporate veil. Similarly, if the residence of the company is to be determined for tax purposes നാകെ ഒരു കമ്പനിയുടെ റെസിഡൻസ് ഡിറ്റർമിൻ ചെയ്യണമെങ്കിലും court will lift the corporate veil and find out where its central management is. Second situation, prevention of fraud or misconduct. If the company is used for some purposes of fraud like avoiding legal obligations or defrauding creditors, etc., then the legal personality of a company may be disregarded. So, if a company is used for purposes like fraud, like avoiding legal obligations or defrauding creditors, then the legal personality of a company may be disregarded by the court. Number 3, company is a sham or a dummy company. If the company is a mere cloak or sham to avoid individual responsibility, the court shall lift the veil. Similarly, if the company is made just as a formality and for the purpose of tax privilege, then such formalities like registration, the validity of the company, etc. will be ignored by the court, and each director is individually liable even though the company has followed all the formalities and procedure of registration. Number 4, company acting as an agent or trustee of the shareholders. If a company is acting as an agent for its shareholders, they will be liable for the acts of the company. എപ്പോഴാണോ ഒരു കമ്പനി അതിൻ്റെ ഷെയർഹോൾഡേഴ്സിൻ്റെ ഒരു ഏജൻ്റ് ആയിട്ട് വർത്തിക്കുന്നത്, then the shareholders will be liable for the acts of the company. A government company is not an agent of the state, but it will be regarded as an agent of the state if it performs governmental or sovereign and not merely commercial function. Generally, a government company is not an agent of state, but if such a company performs governmental or sovereign functions also, then it is considered as an agent of the state. Then the state will be liable for the acts of such a company. Number 5, determination of the character of a company, that is, whether it is enemy or not. When a person in de facto control of the affairs of a company are residents in an enemy country, then the company may assume an enemy character. എപ്പോഴാണോ ഈ കമ്പനിയുടെ തലപ്പത്തുള്ള ഒരാൾ ഒരു എനിമി കൺട്രിയിലെ റെസിഡന്റ് ആയിരിക്കുന്നത്, അപ്പോൾ ആ കമ്പനിക്കും ഒരു എനിമി ക്യാരക്ടർ വരാം. ഇൻ സച്ച് സർക്കംസ്റ്റാൻസസ് ദ കോർട്ട് ഡിക്ലെയേഴ്സ് ഇറ്റ് ടു ബി ആൻ എനിമി കമ്പനി. നമ്പർ 6, holding subsidiary company relationship. Holding company means parent company, that is parent subsidiary company relationship. Generally, a holding company dominates the activities of the subsidiary company and the latter acts like an agent of the parent company. In such a case, the parent company is liable for torts committed by the subsidiary company. Parent subsidiary company relationship le subsidiary company ude activities ne parent company liable ആക്കപ്പെടും. Number 7, public interest. By public interest, the court may examine the characters of the persons in the company. For example, determination of residence of a company for tax purposes, enemy status, and for jurisdiction. In these circumstances, by public interest, the court may examine the character of the persons in the company. Let's discuss one case law also. In Jones versus Lipman, Lipman agreed to sell a land to Jones for certain amount, but afterwards changed his mind. To avoid specific performance of the contract, he created a company and sold the land to it. The court ignored the transfer and ordered the land to be conveyed to Jones. In short, what is independent corporate personality of a company? A company is a legal person. Once a company is registered under the Companies Act, it becomes independent and distinct from the members, and it gains a corporate personality, but there are circumstances in which this corporate veil needs to be pierced. There are 7 circumstances: protection of revenue, prevention of fraud, company in a sham, company acting as an agent, determination of the character of the company, parent subsidiary relationships, and in public interest.